this could I like to open up Q&As with you guys. If you have any questions that just like pop in your mind while we're going through this, feel free to drop them in the chat. Or anything that you're going through, maybe in your conversations with people that you're like, I just don't know how to tackle this. What would you do if kind of scenario? Throw them here. I will say, I like to go and research the team page. And one of my favorite things to find is like a Q&A. The reason why is because like our team page is like 3+ years deep. You guys know that, right? And you can find literally gold in there. You can find Q&As that M's done, that Katie's done, that all these leaders have done. And what I love about it is a lot of times it's the same questions that keep coming up that people still keep asking. Maybe it's just in a different way and it doesn't really click with you until you hear it some sort of way. And so what I did was I actually talked to a couple different girls that are not in our immediate tribe, but they are in our larger tribe. And a lot of them, kind of like I was saying last week, come to me with questions and stuff. And so I wanted to ask them. And I asked you guys too if you had any questions. And I kind of wrote some down here, but I asked them. So these are going to be a lot of their questions too. And I just thought it would be good to kind of go over them because a lot of us kind of go through the same thing. And so the first thing that one person asked, she said, what are your biggest tips for time management? Number one, I will say that planning ahead has changed the game for me completely, especially when it comes, sorry, we got people in the waiting room. When it comes to people, or when it comes to running a business and managing a job and managing a family and being a wife and being a mama and doing all the things, I found myself very overwhelmed with the thought of having to figure it out, with the thought of coming up with a post every day. And it would super stress me out. It would be like 9 o'clock at night and I still don't know what I would post for the day. But when I started hopping on Christina Tammy's planning Zooms on Sundays, it really just opened my eyes to, hey, you got to get organized if you ever want this situation to work. And so I will say planning ahead, number one, changed the game for me. For example, I knew I was going on vacation back in the beginning of August. So I was preparing for that week like 2 weeks ahead of time. Right? You can already start preparing for your posts for next week. And once you get ahead, once you get one post ahead, 2 posts ahead, 3 posts ahead, it's so much weight that you lift off your shoulders where you just like can start showing up for your business in a different way because you're not so stressed out about what you're doing for that exact moment, if that makes sense. You're now living in the future versus living in today. So plan ahead as much as you can, brain dump on a piece of paper. That's why anytime I'm listening to self-development and something just clicks with me and I want to turn it into a post, I write it down in my notes app on my phone. And number two is time blocking. Time blocking, super, super important, especially if you have all these other things going on in your life. You've got your family, you've got your kids, maybe you've got your spouse, maybe you've got a job, you've got all these things you're trying to balance. Eventually you're going to run into where they start butting heads a little bit. Maybe you're going to have that person that's like, hey, you've been on your phone all day, right? Or your kids are like, mommy, just play with me, or whatever it is for you. Or maybe you just feel like you're always on your phone. You're going to find those moments. And when you decide that it's no longer an option and you have to set boundaries in your business, that is when it's going to start to come together for you. And you're going to realize, listen, like I got a time block. I've got to make sure that I run this business so that my business doesn't run me, so that my business isn't running me at midnight, right? A lot of you guys can kind of relate to me on that one, but time blocking is super important. I always start my day with self-development first thing in the morning, and then I time block. I have started time blocking. The biggest thing for me, especially since I'm starting to plan ahead with getting my post down and getting maybe reels ideas or ideas of kind of a gist of what I want to say on my stories. Maybe I want to talk about samples. Maybe I want to talk about a plus line product that day or something, or maybe I want to talk about a promo or something like that. I have a general idea of what I want to talk about on my stories and on my post, and what days of the week make sense for me to do things like a live video or an opportunity event or something like that. what was I going to say? So time blocking for me, I like to wake up in the morning and I get my round of engagement in, I get my self-development done. I will, what else do I do in the morning? I put my products on my stories, and sometimes I'll do like face to face on my stories if I have time. And then let's say it's a day where I'm at work, I go to work and maybe I put up an opportunity story in the middle of the day or something like that, because I can't literally be on my stories or on my phone. Maybe I've planned out my post and I know that, hey, I'm going to be at work from 9 a.m. to 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Then I've got to get my post up, right? And I don't want to do it like I talked to you guys already with those social media policies at your work. I know what mine is. And so I don't want to be caught in a place where I've done something to jeopardize my full-time job right now. Does that make sense? So I will make sure, hey, I'm going to get my post up before 9 a.m. before I go clock in, because that's important to me, that I keep that integrity, that I make sure that I'm separating those, and I plan ahead and do that. Then in the middle of the day, I won't do self-development again, because it doesn't make sense for me to keep doing it over and over and over again when I can get more out of my day by doing more engagement. So in the afternoon, I will do my easy engagement. So for me, this is not my 3-2-1s. This is my my stories or something like that. And then in the evening, I continue to try to show my day, what I'm going through throughout the day. If I'm at work, if I'm at the gym, whatever I'm doing, I'm kind of sharing all my stories and I'm sharing my life. Plus I'm sharing the business. Plus I'm sharing the products. And then in the evening, I do another round of engagement. So that's my biggest tips for time management. But I will tell you, it's a process. It's not something that's going to come overnight. It's something that you're going to have to trial and error, figure out what works for you, figure out what works for your work schedule, for your family life. And you just have to test it out. The second thing, hold on, was this a question? Samantha, samples we got into our accounts already have 3 claimed. My goal this week was to send out at least 2. Yes, that's awesome. You guys, can we just say how blessed we are to work for a company that actually they love giving? And I will be I'll bet they come out with something that's for these accounts that maybe get created from these that don't order yet. Anyways, I don't know. They're always giving to us. Make sure you do get those samples out. I'm personally giving mine away for free. You can charge for them, but they're going to disappear on what? Correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody has the flyer in front of them, but I think it's the 22nd, or is it 24th? 22nd. They're going to disappear on the 22nd. So try to talk about them every day or every other day, or maybe you post about it, or maybe you go live about it, and then you're back at your stories about it again. But try to get those out, because those, when you get Thrive in people's hands, that speaks for itself. Remember how you felt day 1, day 2, day 3 thriving, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need this. This can be something that we talk about with these questions that we have here. But getting those products in people's hands, this is gold. Literally, the company just gave you 6 people to go help. So go help them. I put them as free because I was blessed with it. I love that. That's what I'm doing too with it. Second question I got, content creation. How do you know what to post? We have a huge training on this. If you haven't seen it, type posting in the team page and it goes through it. But I will start by saying, I wrote down here your why. You have to know your why. You have to know what you're here for, right? And one thing I heard on some videos listened to the other day, they were like, you have to know your why. What hurts you? And that just stuck in my head. I was like, that's why. That's why you're doing this. You're doing this for what hurts you. Maybe you want to come off government assistance. Maybe you want to come home from that job. Maybe you want to be able to finally build that house. You want to be able to get your kid into that better school. You want to be able to come home to your babies. Whatever that is for you, whatever it is that's bothering you, that's what we're going for, right? And so that's where I create my posts from my why. I create my post on the fact that I do work full time and I spend a hell of a lot of time away from my family and I want to see them more. I post about how the differences in leadership in our tribe versus the lack of leadership that I have in the hospital. Or I'll post about paying off debt, right? I'll post about all kinds of things like that. I post about what's going on in my life, and I post about why I'm here. Where did I come from? Why am I here? What am I doing? And I will tell you, I've told you before, you will never be more relatable than you are right now. I hope you know that and I hope you're sharing that. I hope you share that you're normal. I hope you share that you can just be a normal person who wants to live an above average life. And that's what this business provides you. I hope that you're sharing that for her on your social media. I hope that you speak to her. I hope you talk through those fears that you had when you first joined as a promoter, that you were scared about what everybody else was going to think about you, that you were worried that this was your 7th network marketing business that you've done, that you were worried that you wouldn't be supportive, that you were worried that you wouldn't have anybody to sell to. I hope you talk these fears out to her, because are they still fears for you? Or have you overcome that and now you're helping somebody else through it? Are they still fears for you, or is it something that you can talk about? And so I talk about that. I talk about my 5s. This is why it's very important to list out what you love about the products, what you love about the business, and where you've come and where you're going. And I talk about what's going on in my life right now. And so think about it. Like, think. Sean's trying to get in. I don't know if he needs help. Why is he going in the back door? Do you need help? Why didn't you come through the front door?
I want to ruin your thing.
Oh, okay. He's trying not to interrupt. Sorry, excuse me. But what's going on in your life right now? And don't be afraid to share it. I'm not afraid to share that I worked during the day and now I have to go back tonight and go back to work. I'm not afraid to share that. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm so sorry. But no, this is why I share that. I share that because one day this won't be my story. One day we won't be in debt. One day we won't be in this little tiny house that we downsized to be able to pay off our debt, right? One day I won't be away from my family and I won't be eating dinner and microwave light, right? You have to talk about what bothers you, because that is what's going to relate. People are going to relate to. Okay. They're not going to relate to the fact that they can come in and earn a car bonus. Yes, cool. Talk about it every now and then, but more so you need to be talking about what bothers you and how this business is changing that for you. Doesn't matter that it hasn't happened yet. It is coming. Okay. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Another question, how to set up newbies for success when it comes to customers and promoters. Number 1, customers. When you have somebody in the computer, they've ordered their pack, the first thing you need to be doing is making sure that they have access to you. So I like to give out my phone number. You might not want to do that. I don't know, but that's just me. I give out my phone number. I'm like, hey, save this in case you need me or you can't find me or you can't get me here on social media, right? I give out my phone number. I ask them if they want to be added into our customer page. This is a huge resource that we have absolutely for free for our customers. If you're not in that, I think everybody on here is in that, but ask them, say, hey, we have a free resource for you. We go over shake recipes, product information. We have giveaways every now and then. There's information on like healthy meals. There's workouts. There's all kinds of stuff in there. If it's something that you want to be a part of, just let me know. I'm happy to add you in. Simple as my conversation goes. A lot of them, probably 80 to 90% of them say, absolutely add me in. So what I do when they add them in is I tag them in. If you type start in that customer page, just like you're searching the team page, if you type start, you're going to see a post that I think Lindsay put up, and it talks about like how to get plugged into this customer page. Then I tag them in free product credits so that they know that that's available for them. Because how bad would you feel if you have a customer of 6 months and she's been ordering? She's ordered for 6 months, and then she finds out that she could have been thriving for free and you never told her. You never told her that was an option. How is that going to make you feel, and how's that going to make her feel? And do you think that she's going to continue to be your customer? Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to think about people. You have to think about their hearts. They're not just like you got a one-time order from them. This is where your relationship starts with them. Your relationship starts by throwing them into that page, setting them up in the beginning with that start post and with the free product credits, and say, I'm here for you. If you want to earn free product credit, I'm more than happy to have those conversations with you, because this is what customers feel when they don't want to be a promoter. They signed up as a customer for a reason, right? But when you tag them in that video, I explain on that video, listen, this is what we do. We love what we do. We are more than happy to have these conversations for you. Basically, throw me in a 3-way chat. Give them, like, send them directly to me. If they want to be a text message, if they want to call me on the phone, if they want to messenger, it doesn't matter. I will have that conversation with them. I will help give them my best recommendation based on what they're looking for. And we'll go from there. So I take care of my customers. I take care of my customers' customers. And we will kind of dabble into like customer appreciation a little bit later. I don't know if maybe next week or September. We do have something coming in September for you guys that I'm really excited about with a couple of our leaders here, but we're not going to get into that tonight. Promoters, setting promoters up for success. That's kind of the same process. So don't get like all up in your head about like, I know how to set my customer up for success, but I don't know how to set a promoter up for success. The only difference is one person is making money, the other person is not. That's the only difference, okay? So you cannot get all wound up in you feeling like you don't know how to lead a promoter. So when you have a promoter that comes in on a pack, they order their pack, you guys should have already talked about why they want this, what they're fighting for, what they want to change in their life. Do they have babies? Do they have a job? Are they married? What are their babies' names, right? These are the conversations that we should have already had before we go put somebody in the computer. We want to get to know them a little bit more, because I guarantee you about 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months in, she's going to try to quit on you. And you're going to be like, listen, girl, what happened what about when you said you wanted to be able to not have your husband to do overtime, right? These kinds of things. But you sign a promoter on a pack. Do not add anybody into the team page until they are qualified and active on a pack. You sign them on a pack. Then what you do is you add them to the team page. They have to be little housekeeping here. They have to be admitted from admin. And some of the questions are, who introduced you and have you bought your pack? So always, whenever you're adding somebody in, make sure that they answer those questions, or it's like a little bit of a double process for them to for all the leaders to figure out, okay, who is this person? Are they legit? Are they real? Have they bought their pack? It'll help speed that process up for you a little bit. But you add them into the team page. I usually send them a screen recording, and I'll do a screen recording of the team page. I'll say, this is what you're going to see underneath all the members here on the team page. You're going to see these little bubbles where you've got your guides, you've got your announcements, you've got files, and I'll click on guides. Then I'll say, guides is where we're going to start. You're going to go as fast as you can to be able to complete these guides. But at the same time, I don't want to overwhelm you. So we're going at your pace. But if you're not asking me questions, I don't know what you don't know, right? So I say, our goal is to get through these as quickly as possible. So start with guide number 1. Let me know when you're done with that. And as it goes through, you're going to help them create their 5s list. You're going to help them create their IPA list if they have no idea what that is. If it's been a hot minute since you personally have watched those guide videos, then maybe that's something that you want to put on your list to start going through, so that you know what your newbies are experiencing. So it's kind of fresh in your mind of like, where are they being directed and what are they being told to do in the beginning of their business? If you remember that moment, super overwhelming, right? Lots of information coming at you, but it's our job to try to streamline that for them, and send them through the guides. And I usually say, when you're done with guide number 1, let me know. And then I'll say, we're also going to be focusing on the VIP 1600 worksheet. It breaks it down day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then some extra videos that are good to watch in your first 2 weeks. But I walk through that with them. Not everybody will stay with me through those 4 days, and that's okay. Not everybody will even complete their guide videos, and that's okay. It doesn't matter, because you're going at their pace, right? And you cannot convince somebody to join this business and make money with you. You just can't. You can't exhaust your energy there. And that's something that we're going to go over too. But that's as much as I guide them in the beginning. And then they have to kind of ping pong back with me. If they're not asking me questions, I don't know what they need, right? And so I still make sure I'm there. I still make sure that I'm showing up on my social media. I am still in my stories. I'm still posting. I'm still running my business. right? I'm still in our chat. I'm still doing the things that I need to do for my business. And I make sure that they know that I'm there for them if they need anything. But I don't hound them and say, hey, did you do guide 1? Hey, did you do guide 2? Hey, did you do this? Hey, did you do that? Right? I might gently give them like a little nudge, but it's kind of like that dance in between where I say like you have to kind of guide them, but at the same time, you can't pull them. You can't pull them. And so that is newbies in the beginning. Let's see, learning from what we didn't do and how they can. So we're going to talk about this a little bit tonight because we got a lot more questions to go through. And we're almost a half hour in already. But what I think that this question is talking about is basically imposter syndrome, which you are going to feel multiple times in your business. Okay. Raise your hand if you came in and you did not hit your VIP period. Right? Okay. And we are all still here. Okay. What I want you to know with that, remember we've talked before. I see you guys raising your hands now. Remember we've talked before that does not make or break somebody in their business. That does not make or break you as a leader. Okay. I never hit my VIPs, but I didn't stay living in that story. Right. And so if you are identifying as the girl who never hit her VIPs, then deep down inside, you don't believe that if it came up tomorrow that you would be able to do it. Because you've identified as that. You've identified as the girl who never hit her VIPs. She can't do it. She doesn't know how to lead somebody. How can I teach somebody else to hit their VIPs if I never did it? That's your story that you're telling yourself, and you have to let go of that story. The number one way to do this is to prove it to yourself. Okay. I did not hit my VIPs when I came in this business. I have hit my VIPs even when there's not a bonus attached to it. I have proved that to myself that I can sign 2 promoters and 2 customers in a 14-day time frame, $800 in volume. No bonus came from it, but I showed myself that I could do that. So run for it. Maybe you need to prove to yourself that you can do it, right? But it starts here, right? And a lot of what you're going to go through in your business is feeling like you're not ready for something and feeling like you maybe can't take somebody to a place that you've never been. And that's absolutely true to some extent, because you can't lead somebody to something that you've never been to, right? But at the same time, just because you didn't hit it doesn't mean that they're not, right? It doesn't mean that they can't come into this business, go through the guide videos, it clicks for them. They start reaching out to their friends and family. They're not afraid. They're not as afraid of their VIP period as you were. That's the difference, right? They're not afraid. They're going to go reach out. They're going to sign their mom. Their dad wants to order. Then they have a best friend who wants to be a promoter. Come on, boo. Then they've got another friend who wants to be a promoter. Boom, she hits her VIPs. It can be done. That person may believe a lot more than you believed in the beginning of your business, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you are not a good leader. It doesn't mean that you can't help somebody hit their VIPs. The same scenario plays over and over and over again in this business. Feeling like you can't lead a Zoom because you've never led a Zoom before. You wouldn't know how to lead your team because you only have one person right now. These are all limiting beliefs that we have. You can't lead somebody to 4K because you've never been 4K before, right? You have to stop identifying as that person. Do not start with me, Sadie. Let's see, what else did I write down here? I want to hop over, my notes are so random, sorry. I want to hop over to these questions here in my messenger. Hold on. Okay, lots of questions here. Let's see. 6 questions. Number 1, how to set the visions the vision for potentials when you haven't gotten there yet. We just talked about this. Is the same thing as you're identifying as the person who hasn't done it yet. And you think that someone's going to come in to your business and they are going to find you out, right? They're going to figure it out. They're going to figure out that you're only a brand promoter. They're going to figure out that you're not 4K yet, and then they're going to be gone. No, they're not. No, they're not. Because you're going to throw them into a team chat where they feel loved and they feel supported. You're going to throw them into a team page where they're going to see some Katie, they're going to see some M, they're going to see some Lens, they're going to have the leadership that they've never had before. They're going to have love and support. You're not going to be hounding them down their neck on where their enrollments are or anything like that. This is going to be such a beautiful experience for them. Right? And so that is all mindset. 80% of what we do is mindset. 80% of the hard work that we actually do is mindset. Number 2, how do you know what to say to encourage the only active promoter that you have to keep going? You don't. You don't. If you have built that relationship with them, you have mutual respect, you know why they're here or why they signed up, and then they fell off or they ghosted you, likely they have something really hard going on in their life right now. And it's your job to be a friend. It's your job to have empathy for them. It's not your job to say, hey girl, where you've been? Hey girl, you haven't been on Zoom, right? You can say, I've seen you've been a little quiet in the chat. I just wanted to check on you and make sure you're okay, right? And they might come at you and say like, oh my gosh, it's just life's been crazy. I'm sorry I haven't been showing up. Listen, you don't have to apologize to me. I'm literally just asking you as a friend if you're okay. This business goes a lot deeper than uplines, downlines, and sidelines. Okay. And so when it comes to somebody that you have personally enrolled, same as a customer. If you have a customer that has ordered for 6 months and all of a sudden they haven't ordered for 3 months, are you just never going to talk to them again? Are you going to check on them? Are you going to go to their posts? Are you going to go to their stories if they have any? Are you going to communicate with them? Are you going to ask them, hey girl, thinking about you. I hope everything's okay. Not asking them for an order. I'm not saying, hey, you haven't ordered in 3 months, right? I'm asking them if they're okay. The same thing for a promoter. You ask them if they're okay. And here's the thing. A lot of times people will have something hard going on in their life and they'll realize that maybe this is a lot harder than the amount of work that they actually wanted to put into this business. And maybe network marketing is not for them. And that's okay. You're going to sign people that don't belong here. You're going to sign people that will leave. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong, but there's nothing that you can do. There's nothing that you can say to make people stay. Because if they don't stay, then their belief was not strong enough in the beginning and they didn't want it enough in the beginning. And it doesn't mean that maybe they'll be gone for 6 months and then maybe they'll come back and they'll say like, God, I miss this community. Or I just needed, like, this was going on in my life or that was going on in my life and I'm ready to get back. Right. But you don't have anything to say to that promoter to keep them going. You just be a friend. Number 3, how do you promote the bonus if you've never earned one? This is the same thing. How do you promote the bonus if you've never earned a bonus? I don't know. Let's think about that for a second. If you have never earned a rank advancement bonus, okay, does that mean that you're disqualified to talk about it? Or did you just disqualify yourself? You disqualify yourself, and that's rude. Okay, tell her to hush. Tell her to hush. Okay, Don't disqualify yourself. Just because you've never earned a rank, you've never earned a bonus, you've never earned a car bonus, you've never earned your VIPs. It's the same thing. It's the belief. You still talk about it. I talked about that car bonus before I ever earned a car bonus. Okay. I talked about, my God, how cool is it that I partnered with a company that pays for your car at the second rank, not the tippy top of the company. Like, you just keep it real. Just be honest, right? I don't post on there, I haven't earned my car bonus yet, but it's coming. Like, no, you don't post like that. But you post like, I can't wait, right? I can't wait until the day I can build that dream home. I'm very honest with where I'm at. I'm very honest that I have $81,000 in debt. My audience knows that. My audience knows that. And I have people that reach out to me all the time. They see me walking into that hospital at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, girl, I can't wait for you to get out of them pink shoes. Right? Because I take them along my story. They are a part of your story. Let's see. Promote the bonus you haven't earned one. Placing myself on the pedestal. Let me see if I can read this right. Placing myself on the pedestal of I will to not doing so makes me seem like a failure and a fraud. So I will suggest that you go research imposter syndrome. There's a lot of information out there about imposter syndrome. There's podcasts. There's Bob Heilig, Your Virtual Upline podcast. He's got a lot of stuff on there about imposter syndrome. You can, on YouTube, you can research imposter syndrome, motivation, whatever. Lots of things that you can find. But it all comes down to that's what you're identifying with. You feel like a fraud. And so you're identifying as that because you think that people are going to find you out and then it's going to be this big old thing. And that energy that's on the inside of you right now, like that is what you're portraying to your audience on your stories. That is what you're portraying with your post. And you have to come from a place of, you have to be very careful with the intention you set forth in your business. Meaning, and we're gonna get to this second because I think there's another question on this one. I'm gonna jump to the last question real quick because it ties into this. Having fun with reels. First of all, if you're having fun with reels, you're doing something right, okay? Some business, some product, most just me having fun. But I feel like if I don't make them business, it's not really helping my business, if that makes sense. Like, it's not helping me make sales. I feel like I could be wasting my time, though it brings me most new engagement, I think is what she's saying. But first of all, you're doing something right if you're having fun and you're bringing that energy into your business. Okay. And I will say, what I was saying is you be very careful with the intention that you're putting forth in your business. Meaning if you're only putting a post up to get a sale, or you're only doing a reel to get likes or comments or followers, or you're only sharing a trial pack reel that you made because you're desperately trying to sell 5 trial packs this week, then that energy of lack of scarcity, of operating from a place of I need X, Y, or Z, people feel that. People feel that. And just because you posted a reel about your kids, or you posted something that was funny, or you posted something inspirational, it doesn't move the needle backwards in your business at all. Right? And so let's use posts, for example. You post about the products one day, then you post about the business another day. And then another day, maybe you're posting that like something, you're proud of something from your kid. That does nothing to move your business backwards. If anything, it actually moves your business forward because people see that you're not a robot. Because people see that, hey, she's got a kid. Oh, guess what? I've got a kid. I've got a kid the same age as your kid, right? Now I'm going to stay in tune to her story because that was funny and my kid just did the same thing, right? So many people I'm connecting with right now because they have littles that are going to kindergarten. Guess what? I have a little that's going to kindergarten on Monday because it's something that I share about. And guess what? I got a post locked and loaded because I've been having conversations with these mamas who've got kids going to kindergarten, and they say things like it's going to be the longest day, or I'm so sad, or like they're all in their feels about their kids going to kindergarten. And it was like a light bulb moment for me because I'm freaking excited for Kaylin to go to kindergarten. You want to know why? Because it's a 6-hour day versus a 10, 11-hour day that she's having at daycare right now. Right? And it's like, boom. That's authentic. That's real. That's raw. When I share in my stories that I'm eating at the microwave, do you know how many other people are eating at the microwave because they didn't get to see their kids today? Do you know how many other people hate their job? They just don't talk about it on social media. Do you know how many other people drive to work and they're like already exhausted, like their energy is already drained? Do you know how many people are already stressing over Christmas because they know they're not gonna be able to afford it? This is where you get your posts from. And so don't ever think that you sharing something that's going on in your life, whether you tie it to the business or you tie it to the products, it doesn't matter. If you're sharing something that's going on in your life about your kids, about yourself, maybe something you're going through, maybe it's mental health, maybe whatever, that is not moving backwards by any means. So stop telling yourself that. Let's see. How to seal the deal with those who've had a trial. I've been getting no's lately. Listen, I have been left on red. I am always left on red. I've got people leaving me on red, like at least 3 or 4 of them in my inbox right now that I have tried to seal a deal with them, right? But it's just not their time. It's just not their time. Okay. You have to respect that. And you have to respect that they're not coming at you because there's a problem with you. They're not coming at you because there's a problem with your product. Maybe they love their trial, but they're arguing with their husband at night because they have no money, right? Maybe they love their trial, but they just can't. They're going back to school shopping right now. Maybe they love their trial, but I don't know, like all these things. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors for people. And so if I have somebody that's loving their trial, I check on them on day 1. First of all, I send them the trial. I say, let me know. Let me know when you get this so I can send you a how-to. And then I tell them how to use their capsules, their shake, and their DFT. If you don't have a little 3-step slide to share with them, maybe that's something you want to put on your list. Put a picture of you with your capsules, picture of you with your shake, and then a picture of you with your DFT on or something, and explain. Give them some directions, give them some instructions so that they know capsules first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Drink lots of water today, babe, right? You're going to feel these kicking in about 15 minutes. Then slide 2, you're saying shake. This is your nutritional mix. Mix it however you want. Have fun with it. Mix in some fruit. Blend it up. I personally use unsweetened vanilla almond milk. Do whatever you want to do with it, right? Meal replacement or not, it doesn't matter. It's not a diet. Whatever you want to say on that side. And then number 3, the sticker, right? It's your DFT. This is wearable nutrition. You slap this on. Preferably for me, I do an area that's not bendy, right? If you have oily skin, prep your skin with an alcohol swab or something like you can say all these things, whatever you want on your slide. Give them some direction of what they're going to do with their 3 steps. I check in with them. I say, let me know when you get this. I'll send you the instructions on how to. And then they're like, I got my pack. I'm so excited. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to send you some instructions. Boom. Slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. I have that in my albums of my phone under products. All these product photos I have. Okay, I'm going to send you a how to. Boom, boom, boom. They're like, oh my God. Like I didn't just create that. I created that months ago, but I use it. And they're like, oh, this girl's organized. Like I'm so excited. Right. And boom, boom, boom. They got instructions. I say, when is day 1? Don't assume that day 1 is the next day because they've got like a shit going on in their world. Okay. Some people like last week, they're like, next week, Thursday is my day. I'm like, okay, next week, Thursday. I'm writing you down. I literally write them down in my calendar and I put like, Nikki, Thursday, day 1 sample. And I put it, she becomes part of my IPA list. And I check in with Nikki on Thursday, about 11 o'clock in the morning. And I'll say, girl, tell me how you feeling, right? I'll say, how's that energy treating you this morning? Or something like that. I don't know how it comes out differently for everybody is different, but I'll check in with them. Day 2, I'm kind of quiet. I kind of let them do their thing. I may not talk to them on day 2 unless they come to me. And then day 3, I check back with them and I'm like, tell me what you're liking. Tell me, let me know. And usually like, girl, I love this. Or they'll say something like, I love the capsules, love the DFT. Yeah, I'm not so sure about the shake, right? Then I assume the sale on day 3. I'm like, I go with it. Like I just had this one girl, she's like, I like my Beachbody shakes, but I love your capsules and I love your DFT. I'm like, all right, girl. I'm like, you can tailor it, make it whatever you want. So we could totally do an order for you that has your capsules and your DFTs if that's what you want to do. Let me know. I'll help you set up the account. I assumed a sale. That was my conversation. Like I literally said that to her. I'll help you set up the account. All I need is your email. And I say this to her. All I need is your email, right? I just keep going. Some people leave me on red. I'll circle back in a couple days. I usually check back maybe twice and then I'm back in the friend zone, right? Wow, I got totally off tangent here, but that's how I seal the deal, right? I'm a friend with them. I'm checking in with them in the process. If they're like, oh girl, like something with this shake. And I'm like, well, how'd you mix it? And they're like, I just put water in it. I'm like, girl, you got to try almond milk. You got to mix this up with a banana, try your chocolate with almond milk and ice and a banana. Check back with me tomorrow, right? Like I bring them the energy and I give them like some pointers on what I personally like. And then maybe the next day they're like, oh, that's the way to do the shake, right? Maybe people, I have given people instructions and they don't even follow it. And they're like, girl, I had the capsules yesterday. I put on my patch today. I'm like, what are you doing? Like I literally told you 1, 2, 3, and you did 1, skip a day, 3. No wonder, right? You got to give them a little bit of direction, but like, be a friend with them. And then always assume the sale when you're going into that conversation. They're like, girl, I love this, right? That's where people get hooked up. They're like, oh, my person loves it. Now what? My person loves it. What do I say? What do I say? I don't want to seem salesy. Girl, we're in sales. We're in sales. She loves something that you led her to. Help her order it, right? If it's not good timing, she'll let you know. And it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean that your product is crap. It doesn't mean anything like that. Okay. It just means it's literally not a good time for her. Right. Don't get all caught up in that. Last question, and then we're going to hop off here, is how to get people in your inbox without constantly being on your phone. This is a tough one for me. I'm spending way too much time on my phone. As long as I seal the deal once, then I'm good off my phone. But if I don't, I try to keep going till I seal the deal or sell a trial, which ends up not happening. Therefore, I spent the entire day on my phone. So you are literally living in that conversation that you are having with people. And I will tell you, I've been there. I will tell you, I've had conversations with people who say they're ready. And then like you're on anticipation, like for the rest of the day, right? And you're like, she's going to order. She's going to order. It's Friday. She said she was going to order, right? She's giving me the information. We've created the account. I've put everything in her cart, right? And you're like, today's the day. Katie's going to order, right? Katie's going to order. Hey, Katie, I'm just checking in with you, right? I'm checking in with you. I wanted to circle back. If you need help with the website, let me know. If there's anything that glitches or anything like that, I'm here to help you, right? Or if like I'm sliding them credits, I'll say like, don't order until I slide you the credits, but you gotta let me know when you're in checkout. Then like it doesn't happen and you're like checking your phone and you're like, she hasn't been on social media in 5 hours. What is wrong with this person? I don't understand. She said she wanted this. Now it's 5 hours later. What in the world? Like she told me, we talked about it for a week. Like this is a conversation that you're having in your head and you're exhausting your energy on it. So this is what I do. You got to get organized, girlfriend. You got to, when somebody comes to you with a question about the product and they show interest in the product or the business, automatically right now, I don't care what you're doing, your pen goes to paper on your calendar, and the day that it is, it's August, I almost said it was October, August 16th, okay? I talked to Allison, and she wanted the capsules, right? And so you write, on Monday, August 18th, Allison, and I'll write IG or FB, I'll write Instagram or Facebook, wherever I found her, she came to me, I write Allison, IG, capsies, right? And I underline her. I underline her and all my customers are yellow and all my promoters are pink. I'm just weird. But I underline her and I highlight the underline, and she doesn't become a full highlight on her name until she's ordered. That way I know we talked about it, but she hasn't ordered yet. We talked about it on Monday, right? And so I'll create her account, right? And she says she's gonna order on Friday. She's like, girl, I get paid on Friday. I'm gonna be ready to go. I want those capsules. I need those capsules. I love to my trial, right? The problem is with time blocking, I will tell you, it changes the game when it comes to planning, organization, time blocking in your business. You will come across a time where your husband looks at you and he's like, put the phone down. Listen to me. I've been there. I've been there multiple times because I feel like a lot of the times in the beginning of my business, I felt like I could only run my business in the morning or late at night when I'm not at work. That's just the chapter I'm in because I do work full time, right? My babies need me when I get home. And I had to figure out that balance for myself. But I will tell you, when I started time blocking and getting my things done in the little nooks and crannies, I literally say happy birthday to people when I'm on a pee break at work. In the nooks and crannies of my day, I get my checklist done. So at the end of the day, I don't have that anymore because I know that that's my husband. Like, he wants time with me in the evenings, unless it's Mondays or Wednesdays. Like, he knows those days are off limits. Like, it just is. Those are my late days. But you have to time block. And when you time block, you'll realize that you're not spending as much time on your phone because you're very intentional with the time that you put in. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do samples on my stories, and then I'm going to get off. Okay. You're face to face on your stories. This is what you get in your trial pack. You get 3 days of capsules, 3 days of shakes, 3 days of your DFT. This is what you're going to feel. And then whatever, you're off your stories and you're on to the next thing. You check it off your IPA list, you move on. You do your engagement in the morning, check it off your IPA list and move on. Then you do some more in the afternoon, then you do some more in the evening. Check it off your IPA list and you're done. When you're talking to somebody, it doesn't have to be, and a lot of times it won't be an order that day. And you can't hang your hat on them ordering that day. And just because they say they're going to order, they're ready, they're in checkout, and then they have to go to the grocery store with their toddlers, and then their toddler poops their pants, and then their husband, like, they get home from the grocery store and it's dinner time, and then it's bath time, and then she's got to get up and go to work the next morning. Like, things happen, life happens. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong, but there's absolutely no reason for you to keep checking your phone. When she's ready to make that order, you guys will connect back up. Right? You guys will connect back up. And there's been plenty of times, and this is kind of like a growth chapter that you'll have to go through, but there's been plenty of times where I was kind of in desperation mode like that. I have operated like that before, and it feels really icky to be there. But I'm now in a place where people can come into my inbox with a question. Like, literally, there was a lady last night come into my inbox at like 10 o'clock at night, and I saw it, and she said, I finally have the courage to ask you, and that's like all I could see in my inbox. And it's like, but I knew if I opened that up, I'm just like opening like a whole nother hour of conversation probably with her. And it's rude for me to open up that message when I'm not prepared to answer that question and give her the time that she needs, right? So it's a little bit of a growth thing that you'll have to go through, knowing that, guess what? That message is still going to be there in the morning. And she'll probably respect you a little bit more versus trying to jump her bones at 10 o'clock at night, right? She'll respect you a little bit more. She's going to know that you have things going on too. She's going to know, let's say you waited, you feel like you're waiting all day for somebody to order, and then she comes back on. She's not going to be like, where you been? Where you been, girl? I'm ready to order. I'm ready to order. I'm ready to order. She's going to say, okay, I guess she got busy, right? Respectfully so. You are a business owner. You're a leader. You got busy. You have kids. You have family. You run a business. You got busy. It's okay. You can't let that make you feel like you're going to lose the sale just because you have a life, right? But you have to get organized. You have to start time blocking. You have to start making it a priority to organize your business, because otherwise you're going to feel exactly like that. You're going to feel like your business is running you. And guess what? If you feel like your business is running you, your family's going to feel like your business is running you. Your kids are going to say, Mom, like ever since you started this, like we just don't talk. Or ever since you started this, like you've just been so busy. Or your husband's like, I don't even see you anymore, babe. Like you're just always, right? Ding, ding, ding. I've been there. I've been there. When my kids are like, Mommy, you always say you're busy, right? Gut check. Okay, putting it down. But that's just like your mental note. Like, gotta get together. Gotta get it together, Karen. Gotta get it together, Sam. Gotta start getting organized because this is my routine. This is my little process that keeps flailing. How much longer am I gonna be like this, Jennifer, right? We have to get organized in our business. I think that's the last question that I have, but I want to leave you with one thing. This is a very long Zoom. Those were all the questions. It's okay to live humble and dream big. Absolutely. What, y'all, these comments. Okay, the last thing I want to say is that your rank is coming. I know that you guys are pushing for ranks. You're pushing for these big goals. You're pushing for big things. You're pushing for that next level. Your rank is coming. But I want you to think of it like it's like an airplane, right? It's flying around. Your rank is coming. Here comes 4K, right? 4K, 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 4K. But your rank will never land until you've cleared the landing strip, until you've made sure nothing is on the runway. There's no debris. There's no other airplane. There's no vehicles in the way, right? Little goose walking around. There's your limiting beliefs all over the mess over here. There's comparing yourself to somebody else. Like it's all this junk on the runway. But your dreams, your goals, your next customer, your team that you're waiting to grow, your rank that you're trying to reach for is not going to land until you believe in yourself. You move all this mess out of the way. You stop connecting yourself to the identity of the person that you were when you started this business. You are not the same person anymore. You are not just a brand promoter anymore. You are a leader in this business. You are a 4K leader. You need to start seeing yourself as such. You need to start talking to yourself that way. You need to start waking up and speaking life into that. You need to start portraying on your stories of what, like maybe you need to start talking about, instead of talking about what this business can do for them and what this team can do for them, maybe you need to talk about what you can do for them. Can you offer direct access to you as a leader? Can you offer that you're going to help hand in hand walk them through that first 14 days in this business? Can you ensure that you're not going to give up on them, that you're not going anywhere in this business, and that you know exactly what you've got your hands on? Can you start talking in that way? Can you start clearing your own runway and not being caught up when you've got a customer that said they were going to do one thing and then they didn't? Can you not get caught up in your feelings about how you signed a promoter and they fell off the bandwagon and now you haven't been able to sign another promoter because you're all up in your head about the one person quit, so the next person's going to quit, right? Most people will quit. Most people are not meant to be here on this journey. This takes hard work on the inside out to be able to do what we do. And most people aren't ready for that. Most people won't be able to hang. Most people will not see you walk across that stage to pick up your 200K sign. Most people won't. But some people will. And you need to start showing up for some people. You need to start showing them what exactly it is that you're here for. Where'd you come from? Where are you going? Why the heck does this matter to you so much? Why does it matter? Why does it matter when you take those purple pills in the morning? What do they do for you? I don't even understand. Right? Hi, Chig. What do you need to clear? is what I want to leave you with tonight. What do you need to clear from your runway? For me, it was worried about other people's opinions. I was so worried about them daggum opinions. I was so worried what other people were going to think. I was so worried about the stigma that this network marketing profession had. Listen, if you do not believe in network marketing, I want you to go read Beach Money, and I want you to read the 4-Year Career. And I want you to maybe start looking at Forbes. Because I guarantee you, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it won't be this. It won't be this like, ew, network marketing. It's going to be like, what company are you with? You're a millionaire too? What company? Right? Because I don't know if you've looked, but our world is in shambles right now. And we need some really good leaders, don't we? And we may not be running the world, but we can make a difference in the world. Because we are out here to do something more than just sell vitamins. We are here to show people how to elevate their life. Maybe you bring somebody in this business and they don't know Jesus. Maybe you bring somebody in this business and they see Katie and you brought something out in them that they didn't even know they had. Maybe you brought somebody in this business that was literally at their lowest low and they didn't even know that they needed this community. And this is all they needed. All they needed was some positivity in their life because they're living in hell at home. Right? Maybe you bring somebody in this business who needs to share their story. Maybe they've been through a hell of a lot more than we have, and maybe they need to share their story, and maybe they've got something bigger planned for them, right? It's not all about us. But you're never gonna change that next life until you've got to change your own. You'll be willing to change your own. You got to be willing to wake up and be a different person, to be a better person tomorrow, to be somebody who says, listen, like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. I'm not going to sit here and question myself before I click the live button. I'm not going to sit here and think that I don't have this figured out. I'm going to figure it out. If I don't know the way, I'm going to make the way. I'm going to figure it out. If I don't know how to be a leader, guess what? I can go learn about it. I can go listen to John Maxwell. I can read his books. I can listen to Craig Groeschel. I can YouTube everything under the sun on how to be a better leader, on how to be able to connect with people. I can learn how to have better conversations with people. I can learn how to believe better in myself, right? That is what we do, you guys. And that I want to leave you with that tonight, okay? And we're going to hop off here. It's 9:00, but your plane's never going to land, baby. If there's a bunch of crap on the runway, okay? I love you. Bye.